Well, welcome back. There's another look around the region. Again, we've got a lot of cloud cover out there, but not too much going on in the way of rain chances right now. Low to mid 80s. I'm sure still a few of our real fields are in the lower 90s, but you can see that almost all the rain around the region has dissipated, except for up in Jasper and Putnam counties right now. And we had a couple of small showers in the middle of the region. Those seem to be dissipating as well. But if we zoom out, we do see that there's still a little bit of storm activity going on for the north. Got a little bit of a cluster between I-20 and I-85 around the Athens area. And of course, the main thing that we're watching is this line. It's creeping in here from Tennessee. It's now beginning to move into the northwestern parts of the Peach State, and not overly intense at all. You got a couple of strong thunderstorm alerts along the front of this, which means that there might be gusts in excess of 40 miles per hour. But if they were more than 60, these would be severe thunderstorm warnings. So they are not quite of that threshold. And of course, as we continue through the evening and the sun goes down, intensity on that line is likely to diminish. That being said, it's still level 2 for the entire region. The good news here is the last few days have been a level 2 here. It really has not panned out for any of them. So hopefully that trend will continue as we go through tonight. Right now, NWS in Peachtree City doesn't seem overly concerned about too many of the storms this evening becoming severe. As for rain so far today, our wet spot down in Wheeler County got more than 2 inches, but by location it's Dublin, 1.3 inches. We add in rain from over the weekend. Dublin still the wet spot, 1.5 inches. Abbeville, Montezuma, Butler, 1.3 inches, but we do have a couple of spots that are not marked that got more than 2 inches. So got a decent amount of rain. Of course, we're going to continue to have decent chances throughout this week. 67 was our overnight low last night. Today's high 86, so below average on the high end, on average with the low end, and going to be maybe a little above average tonight. In terms of the storm chances this evening, I wouldn't worry too much about, say, between 6 and 9 p.m. That should stay pretty low. But then as we get towards 10, 11, that group of storms coming from Tennessee should begin to move into the region. 68 for our low tonight. Again, that's right above the average for this time of year. Wind will stay out of the southwest and just very, very muggy. Continuing forward, no change there. It's going to stay that way throughout this week as the, of course, continued opportunities for rain fueling on the excess humidity that we are dealing with. A front that's been with us this weekend stalled out, will remain that way through much of this week. And even once it clears, you're still going to see storm chances each afternoon and evening. I'm thinking about 40 to 50% every day as we go through this week in terms of those storm odds. That doesn't necessarily mean they'll be severe. As you can see for tomorrow, we don't expect there to be any severe weather, but lightning and thunder are going to be fair game. Just know that you'll need to keep that rain gear handy each of the coming days as, of course, we're going to deal with storm chances. Now, I want to point out that for tonight, I don't know if it'll be this widespread. Again, it's a pretty thin line coming in from Tennessee. Now, that means, we can still have 80 to 90% of us get rain if it's a line and hits almost everybody, but it shouldn't last super long. We got that rain. It should largely taper off after midnight. And as for tomorrow, I've got some beef with this. We're all going to have a cloudy start. All right, we should get more sun in the afternoon. And I do think our best window for rain tomorrow will be the first half of the day, but I'm thinking it's going to be more in those late morning to lunchtime hours, not at sunrise like you saw there. Then we have in the evening, again, I have 40 to 50% every day this week. This is like pushing 90%. I just don't think the rain is going to be that widespread tomorrow, but make sure, of course, to keep that rain gear handy because at least half the region should see those, and then you see the little more isolated nature as you go through Wednesday afternoon. Plenty of heat as those real fields will be in the 90s. I'll have your extended forecast in 10 seconds. Your 41 NBC AccuWeather 7-day forecast is brought to you by Volume Chevrolet. So got some good storm chances each of the coming days. Again, I mentioned about 40 to 50% every single day. Highs staying just below the average for this time of year. Lows largely just above average for this time of year. The pattern will carry into your Father's Day weekend.